So I promised myself 12 months ago that I wouldn't drink again.
What's up? Welcome back to Still Not Drunk, the podcast about drinking, hosted by a comedian who doesn't drink. That's me, Aidan Jones. Thank you guys very much for coming back and being here. As always, I really appreciate you tuning in. Today on the pod, mate, we have Dane Simpson. You know what? Let me just chill. I always find it strange. You know, like I've been doing my own solo podcast for 5 years, but still somehow doing the intro for this podcast feels weird. I can relax. I want to tell you guys a story that ties into the episode that we've got this week. Today on the podcast is Dane Simpson. Fantastic comedian from Wagga Wagga, Gamilaraay man, and a good friend and someone who's always been super supportive and has said some like really helpful things to me in comedy, and just one of the kindest dudes out there. We talk about drinking. Oh, you know, I'll tell you this. So I was just talking to a friend of mine, and I won't go into the specifics, but like a guy who we know from a long time ago, you know, is like having a tough time. And it's the second time in 2 weeks, in 1 week, that someone who I've known for a long time, who is not really in my life anymore, but who I was close to at some point in my life, has kind of found themselves in a very difficult situation, or has gotten themselves in some trouble, or whatever it is. And I hate to use a cliche, but it really makes you think. But it really does. Like, you know, the first one was a guy more kind of who I was close with, and then the second one is a guy who my friend is very close with. But in both situations, it's like this is someone who, for whatever reason, has kind of lost their way in their life a little bit and doesn't have the tools or the ability or the community around them or whatever it is to find their way back to where they need to be. And so they just get further and further from this path. And like in both situations, the overriding emotion is just, it's so sad. Like when you have someone in your life, or who used to be in your life or whatever, who's not anymore, and then you hear that they're having a tough time, you know, you think, is there anything that I could have done? Is there anything, or like why is this happening to that person? And are they still the same person who I knew that's happening to? Have they changed in some kind of fundamental way? Can a person change in some fundamental way? It's really scary to think like that is a person who I was so close to, and now they're like that. Could that happen to anyone? Like, is that going to happen to me? It just, like, I was listening to Mark Maron's podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about the way life beats people down. And you kind of don't know, if you haven't seen someone in a long time, whether they're still going to be that same person that they were when you knew them, or if they're going to have changed. And it's really scary when you see something that's happened to someone that you know and that they have changed. But then also, like, I feel so grateful for the people in my life who haven't changed, who have been there for a long time. And it just kind of throws that into sharp relief to be like, man, how lucky am I that I have friends around me who have known me for a long time, who I've known for a long time. And like, to bring it back to the whole point of this podcast, like, I guess this is kind of one of the reasons why I quit drinking is like, you know, these two guys who are having a tough time in their lives, a part of it is like, I wonder how much, I don't know, like you can't help someone else unless they want to help themselves. And far from like I don't want to try and blame someone else for a situation that they find themselves in, because it's always, there's so many different factors that can contribute to it. But like, when you're looking at that person from the outside and thinking, what could I have done? And there's like an element of guilt there. It's like, there's only so much you can do, and you can't help someone who's not willing to help themselves. And when I quit drinking, a part of that was me going like, I want to help myself not be this fucking person, because there's every possibility if I don't quit drinking or if I don't take the steps to try and be the person who I know I can be. Who knows, man? Maybe I'm the guy who someone's fucking talking about on their podcast going like, oh, nice to know ya, you know? Like, there but for, you know, the grace of God or whatever the fuck you believe in, go I. And there really is, it feels like sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to it, and it's just terrifying to see someone whatever. And so with Dane Simpson in this conversation that we had, I've gone through it this week and re-listened to it, because we had the conversation in April during the Melbourne Comedy Festival. I'd just gone and seen Dane's show at the festival, and we went to his hotel room and recorded this chat. And we talked in the conversation about his brother, his older brother, who by the sounds of it kind of went a fair way down that road where at times it was like, is this guy going to come back? And I don't know, Dane, you know, it seems like, I mean, he has come back by the sounds of it, and the way Dane talks about him, it's like he's kind of found a path back from a very dark place with drugs and alcohol to where he has a career now and he's really passionate. And I loved hearing Dane talk about that. I love listening to Dane talk because he's a very happy dude. He seems very happy. I mean, obviously everyone's got their whatever, but like there's no heaviness to Dane. And I've always loved his comedy because he talks about being an Indigenous man, a Gamilaraay man. He talks about where he comes from. He talks about his culture even a little bit. And like, as someone who, I'm mixed race, but I was raised in white Australia, I don't have much contact with Indigenous culture and the history of it. And seeing Dane perform was definitely one of the first times where I've felt like a kind of contextualization of what some Indigenous culture is in a kind of, the way he presents it is, it's like I can understand it, which feels really valuable. He's a very unique voice in Australian stand-up, and I think we're really lucky to have him. So super psyched to interview him. This week on the podcast, we were drinking Spacer, the beer by Little Bang Brewery, which is from Stepney in South Australia, which is near where I'm from, Adelaide, brother. As always, the podcast is sponsored this week and every week forever by anadrinks.com.au. That is your go-to alcohol-free platform online if you want anything delivered all over Australia, anadrinks.com.au. You can get whatever you want out there. They have been kind enough to support the podcast. They fucking rock. All of the guys down there doing their thing. So go to anadrinks.com.au and get your alcohol-free stuff delivered. And with that, I think that's everything that I wanted to say. Is that everything that I wanted to say? Oh, another crazy thing about Dane is he's based out of Wagga Wagga, which if you don't know where that is in like the middle of the Riverina region in New South Wales. He's from Walgett, which I don't know what that is, but it's a small town. I think it's a community, like an Indigenous community. But Dane's based out of Wagga Wagga, and like to the point where as a comic in Australia, you kind of have to live in Melbourne or Sydney or maybe Brisbane. Perth people will say you can live in Perth. You're a fucking idiot. You can't live in Perth, all right? If you think you're living in Perth, yeah. If I have any listeners in Perth, they're fucking fuming right now. But you basically have to live in Melbourne or Sydney or maybe Brisbane. There's like a handful of people who don't, and Dane's one of them, and he lives in fucking Wagga Wagga. So that's the strength of will that this dude has, and I guess the depth of his talent as well that allows him to be a professional stand-up and tour all around Australia, does the Melbourne Comedy Festival Gala, does roadshows, he's on TV, all of this stuff, and he lives in goddamn Wagga Wagga. So with that, thank you guys again for tuning in. If you're liking the podcast, by the way, 5 stars, Apple, Spotify, all of that stuff. And share it to some friends, mate. Follow the Instagram at Still Not Drunk Pod. I've got to stop saying the name of the podcast. And with that, I hope you guys enjoy this chat between me and Dane Simpson. today we got Dane Simpson on the pod.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
How you doing, brother?
Yeah, good.
Mate, I've just seen you do a fantastic solo show the last of your run at the Melbourne Comedy Festival.
Last show.
How'd you feel?
It feels good. Normally I feel relieved, but because this is the first time I've been doing the show. So this is 2 weeks where I started 2 weeks ago doing the show.
Yep.
And then now I feel like I've ran it in.
So that was the start of the run period.
Yeah.
Man, bold.
Bold.
Yeah.
Very
and you
bold.
feel good about it. It
Feel
was a sick
great.
show. It didn't seem like... I saw you do some of that gear in Cairns 2 weeks ago. I noticed you trimmed a few bits of it down.
Yep.
But, like, it was pretty... You know, I mean, it was good in Cairns.
That was me running it in. That was...
The only thing that I was gutted, but I was sitting next to Chris Marlton, who has seen your last year's show. The First You Stole My Land.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, man. I was so I thought that was going to be the closer because the whole wedding thing.
Oh, right.
And I was hanging for it, but I didn't
Yeah.
realize that was in last year's show.
It's in last year's show. Yeah. That was the one of the big...
And man, it's one of the great jokes I've seen. It's incredible. It's so rare that you see a joke that you don't even need to say the punchline.
Yep.
People are already... It's insane.
Yeah.
And
it
it's
becomes-
only you could do that joke or only an Indigenous person,
Yep.
but it's right there, you know?
I even seen a remix of it on Instagram where someone wrote, made a little square about it.
Yeah.
And then everyone in the comments was like tagging me, just going, give credit to this guy for that gag. And I was like,
What? That someone else like just parallel thought wrote it, but they were
Yeah.
like... So is that the one on Paramount Plus?
Yep, that's
Yeah,
on Paramount
sick.
Plus.
Oh, dude.
Didgeridoozy.
You got to get behind that paywall, guys, to see one of the great jokes in Australian comedy. Man, but how's your festival been? You feel good?
I feel so good. Doing spots and stuff around.
Yeah.
I wrote so many jokes for this show because I was so underprepared.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up doing a trial show in Wagga and I was over-prepared. I did an hour and a half show.
Damn.
And had to pull bits out and trim it right down. And then I realised once I had the show in its full, like what I did tonight, I realised that there's some bangers that I didn't put in there. And so now that I'm doing spots, I just do my little other gags.
And you're taking it on anywhere else?
Yeah. I reckon next year we'll take it on. We'll do Adelaide and
I mean,
Perth.
obviously you're going to Edinburgh. Fuck.
Going to
I forgot.
Edinburgh. I'm going to Edinburgh with Didgeridoozy, so the
Okay.
show that's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
And then, if that goes well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm planning it won't. But if it does,
yeah.
then we'll do this new show. Always will be funny.
That's sick, man. And between, so you're about to leave Melbourne and then you're coming back for the last week of festival.
Yeah.
To just do spots,
Just
hang
do
out.
spots, hang. But I'm gig pig, bruv. You
Yeah,
know, I
yeah.
love doing spots and stuff. So even now, I think I've got roughly, if I was going to average them out, to 2 gigs a day when I come back, but that means that there's some gigs where I'm doing 1 a day and some where I'm doing 3 a day.
Yeah, 3 or 4. Dude, Milo, who we were just hanging out with, is going to try and go from Spleen in the CBD at 8:30. 8:30? Yeah, at 8:30, go down to Janet McLeod's room in St Kilda, and then come back and do Best of British, which is at 9:30. He reckons he's doing tonight. He reckons he's doing 8:30 and then one in between, and then closing at 9:30, so like 10:15. Lunacy, man.
It is, because I know 2 of those bookers.
Yeah. Yes.
Not
and the third person, I don't know who books that room.
and they will not change their lineup
No.
to fit in your
No,
craziness.
mate.
You fit into
They're
them.
like these fucking egos, huh? Is that
Yeah.
what it is? Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Totally.
They both of them will just go, nah, you're going on early.
Oh, my God.
Choose.
Well, look, man, let's get stuck into this beer. What the podcast is I don't drink, so I'm forcing everyone else to drink an alcohol-free drink with me. Today, we've got the American Pale Ale from Spacer. Free, alcohol-free. This is from Little Bang Brewing. And I want to give a shout-out before we hit it to ANA Drinks, who are my sponsor, who are an alcohol-free drink store. They do anadrinks.com.au, delivering all over Australia all the alcohol-free shit that you could ever want, and they're legends.
What's Little Bang is Adelaide, yeah?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah,
You know what? I should know that, but in true flying by the seat of my pants form, I've not read even the side of the can.
I'm reading a little bit here. It says Little Bang beer, but the R is in the triangle saying that it's R rated, so it's 18 plus.
Okay, but is this R rated? I wouldn't have thought so. I guess it's 0.1 standard drinks.
Yeah.
You are, I was actually keeping an eye because you're a drinker, hey?
Yeah.
And you're a beer drinker.
Yeah, beer drinker.
And I saw you drinking the pint or the pot that we just had at the pub before this.
Yep.
You knock them back pretty quick.
Yes.
Do you reckon that you could do 0.1 standards? That's you get 2 standard drinks in an hour to get over the legal limit. Do you reckon you could run that?
These beers.
Yeah.
I drink pints.
You drink pints.
I reckon I could get there.
You reckon you could do it'd be 20 of these in an hour to put you over the legal limit.
That's really funny.
That's a lot.
Cans.
Isn't it? That's mental.
But if I don't know what a can is to a pint. It could be...
This is what 330, 375 mils, and a pint is 500. So 10 of these it's about 7 liters. Is 20 of these.
Yeah, and you'd have to
that's
do that.
14 pints.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous.
That's lunacy, isn't it? There's no one.
No one.
I just like I actually was thinking about it, and I talked to a few people. Apparently, 0.1 standard drinks is like the same amount of alcohol that's in a banana. But still, the competitive side of me is like, come on, man.
What is so point? Okay, 0.5.
0.5 ABV, 0.5%, yeah, and it's 0.1 of a standard drink. Oh man,
that's crazy.
When did you? Do you remember when you started drinking? Do you remember your first time getting drunk?
I do. I think. Did I talk to you about my first beer when we?
It was the rugby club.
Yeah.
Was it? I can't remember the story. Tell me again.
So it was the Cronulla Sharks.
That's right.
Rugby league. And we were at the Northies, which was their place to drink. After I think it was a training session, or they could have had a game. Either way, it was like a Friday afternoon or Friday night, and I went with my mate, and he played in the undergrades, and was friends with everybody, and was introducing me to everyone.
And how old are you at this point?
21.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember being surprised because you started late.
Yeah.
Yep.
I never used to drink.
Yeah.
I used to be like a DJ.
Yeah.
I used to DJ instead.
Yeah.
I started DJing when I was 16, and then I made way more money than everyone else in school in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Than what they would in a week at Macca's.
And you're DJing at a Wagga Wagga.
Yeah.
Where you grew up.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm doing like a wedding or a school disco, that type of stuff, and I'm just making so much money.
And people are getting drunk around you as well.
Yeah.
I guess. And this is when you start DJing, like 14, 15?
Yeah, 15. And then, because I was doing the school disco, that's how I did it.
Yeah.
My school, our DJ came in and played our school disco and never had California Love by Tupac and Dre.
Yeah.
And it just angered me.
Yeah, you're just like, what the fuck is this?
Why?
Hack.
Yeah. But he would just play pop songs because back in Wagga, back in the day, it was just poppy stuff.
And this is like in the early 2000s, so you're talking like 80s, 90s kind of pop?
Yeah,
Are they playing like ABBA?
Late 90s.
Yeah, okay. Ricky Martin? Yes, man. Do you really want it?
Five.
That kind of stuff?
Yeah. 5, Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
They've released that. They're bangers.
Yeah.
Everybody came out just that. Everybody.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Just came out.
And Spice Girls.
Spice Girls were massive.
Yep.
That type of stuff. Yeah. So they were playing these bangers. They're great hits. But yeah, never anything a little too heavier.
Yeah.
Nothing outrageous. And then I started DJing and I got really popular because I was playing not only like California Love was my favorite song at the time, but I started to play like a little bit of Limp Bizkit.
Nice.
And then move it Linkin Park.
Yeah.
And it wasn't music that you would normally go to a disco and hear because you couldn't dance to it. But I'm playing it loud through the speakers, and these teenagers are just losing their minds.
Man, it's so funny to me now in 2023 that you're saying that you were the cool DJ because you played Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It is so crazy.
You were like the countercultural, you know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And then even when I got older and started doing the nightclubs, I was cool because I was playing Dr. Dre's 2001 album.
Yeah.
No one else was playing it.
Yep.
That is so crazy to me to look back on.
It's also quite interesting that you started DJing around the time that most people start drinking. Like most people's trajectory is you're drinking, and then around your early 20s, you go, fuck, man, I got to turn my life around. But you were a successful DJ, and then at 21, you were like, man, I need to get fucked up.
Let's do this.
Did you ever want to drink when you were like at those parties? I mean, assuming after a while, it's like pretty big events and stuff.
Yeah, not really, because one, I like driving.
Okay.
I had all my equipment and stuff that I needed to. And
Yeah.
because I was making so much money, I was buying the best microphones,
Right.
the best lighting,
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. And I really cared about it. So I was putting it in my car afterwards and keeping it,
Yeah.
driving it back to my house and then putting it back in my shed.
Just being a very responsible young business owner.
Yeah. And it paid off. Like,
Yeah.
genuinely, I owned so much really cool equipment. And I DJ'd right up until, like, literally maybe the past couple of years.
Oh, really? Even through starting stand-up and everything?
Yep, absolutely.
Have you
Still
DJ'd at Festival Club before?
DJ'd at Festival Club.
Okay, I was going to say, that's about the pinnacle of comedy DJing,
At
I
most,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've done pretty much all of the festival clubs. So I've done Perth, Adelaide, and Melbourne.
Yeah, that's sick, man.
And just bangers, just old bangers.
Yeah.
Is what I love. I know that it sounds cheesy, but fuck, particularly when you've had a few.
Yeah.
But when you're around the vibe.
When you're around a bunch of people and you just need something that everybody knows to bring everyone together.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, man, I always, you know what? It's funny being a comedian because people are like, I'm so scared of that. I would genuinely be terrified to get behind some decks, even if I knew how to DJ and play the songs that I like. Because I've had too many bad experiences at parties where you chuck on your favorite song and then everyone goes, what the fuck is you? And I'm like, man, I'm sorry. Like, I just wanted to share this like obscure hip hop track, you know?
I love, and you would know this as a comic, dude, you got to bomb sometimes.
You got a bomb.
To play, to be a DJ as well.
Yeah, right.
You got to play some absolutely wrong choices and bomb it, and then have people leave the dance floor for a full 3 minutes. And then get them back with your best jokes, aka the biggest pop hit.
I've got a story, and then I'll ask for if you've got a DJ bomb story, because I just remembered a bomb story, not DJing, but karaoke.
Yep.
Recently in Albany, I did my show at the Spectrum Theatre there.
Yes,
and then some of the, you know that theatre?
No, I've seen that you were posting
Oh, dude, it
about
was
this,
so
it's pretty
fucking
cool.
sick, man. That place rocks.
Yeah.
Hard recommend. And after the show, some of the local gang, they're like, man, we loved it. Come down the pub. It's a Saturday night. The show's done by like 9.
Brilliant.
So you're like, we're green lit.
Yeah.
And we go down the pub and there's karaoke and there's two couples, locals, like in their 30s.
Yep.
They're great. And we get up, me and one of the guys, we say to the two girls, we're going to go up. And we're like, what are we going to sing? What are we going to sing? And I'm like, we're singing My Way by Frank Sinatra. And the girls are like, what's that? And me and the guy were just like,
What's that?
yeah, right? What the fuck is My Way?
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
you are kidding me.
Yeah.
And me and the other dude are just like, man, this is going to be sick. Don't worry. Follow our lead.
Yeah.
And we get up there in 30 seconds, people just start clearing. And the girls are looking at us with panic. Yeah, man. No one knew the song.
What?
I'm like, what are you guys talking? It's like a fucking what? Exactly.
This is...
My Way by Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
It's like one of the great songs
it is
ever.
Literally. Because that can be thrown around, but that quite literally everybody knows it.
And you know what it was because I was in Edinburgh because that was in September, and in August I was in Edinburgh, and I was at a karaoke night where there was like 10 people in the whole bar, and we all sang My Way, and me and like 5 strangers hugged in a circle and screamed it, and I was like, but maybe that's it. I was playing the gig in my mind rather than playing the room in front of me.
My dad does that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. He seen my uncle play, because my uncle's DJs as well. He played Michael Jackson, and every young person in Walgett lost their minds and they got up and they started dancing. And now, whenever I'm DJing, Dad goes, can you play some Michael Jackson for the kids?
Right.
And I'm like, that's not...
They don't know.
That won't work here.
Times have changed.
You've Your brain's stuck.
Yeah,
20
man.
years ago.
It's true. You want to go back to that time, but you got to push forward.
That's 100% it. It's great. It can work for you though.
Yeah.
You've got the right track.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're
Yeah.
fine. My way, I would have put money on you winning
I'm
that.
sure, man. And not like half of them.
Yep.
No one.
That's
we bombed
crazy.
so hard. I kind of loved it because these guys had just seen my show, and the rest of the people in the pub weren't at the show. But these guys had just seen my show, so they know like I'm a comedian, whatever.
Yep.
And so as we were there bombing, I was leaning over to the girl next to me and being like, "You know how it feels to bomb now.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're in the fellowship
You're
of
in-
comedians.
Yeah, yeah.
You're in the gang." I could see how panicked she was. She was really sweating, man.
100%. That's true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've played some just wrong choices at
Yeah.
a wedding, and you just lost them. It's been crazy. Some of the requests, man.
Yeah?
Weird. Sometimes they lead you up the wrong, like you get
Like the people requesting.
yeah, particularly like the young ladies who best friends with the bride, and then we'll go the bride once because they know that's
Oh my god, yeah.
that's the trigger words.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah. And then whatever the song is,
Yeah.
girls just want to have fun.
Uh-huh.
And then it's never that. It's always something weird.
Yeah.
It's always like Someone Like You by Adele.
right.
And you're like, oh, you're just going to kill.
or like the Smiths or some fucking
Yeah.
some weird vibe.
And then I'm playing it and no one's dancing. And even I'm looking for that. that girl.
yeah. And she's gone.
Yeah, she's gone.
She's like, I needed to go to the toilet.
She's
for some
out
reason.
smoking.
Comes back. Did you play it?
yeah, absolutely. Play it again.
Oh my god, what a dog.
Like, yeah, it's that type of shit.
yeah.
You can, yeah. I've had some banger karaoke moments. No, I was in America,
Yeah.
and they finished the karaoke night, and it was banger. We were all having a good time, and then the pub was just like, all right, everyone, like, get out. And we were all just sort of mingling, and drunk Dane just climbed onto the pool table
Yeah.
and just started, Mama, kill the man, and everyone
Oh.
just lost their mind, started singing, and like, yeah, it was collectively, we were fighting the man.
To fucking
That was
who was trying to
kick us
get you
out.
out of the pub.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm going to sing the longest song that I
Yeah,
know.
Absolutely, it was. It was 100% the longest song I knew, but also knew the words to.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone just lost their collective minds, and it was just this moment of like, yes.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, because I'm traveling around.
When was this? When were you in the US?
Oh, 2006,
Okay.
7.
Oh, this is like pretty soon after your big DJing days.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, absolutely. And then I was DJing when I was over there as well.
Okay.
Did some little pubs.
Yep.
I was playing some Aussie classics.
Sick.
I'd never heard of them before.
Like Chisel and stuff.
Chisel.
Flame Trees.
You know the big one that went off? Put your hands on Reef.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Put your hands on.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's a class. Is that Australian?
Yeah, they're
Fuck.
they're Aussie.
You forget
Yeah,
what your culture is.
I think so. And yeah, and it was so that was bad. That was going bananas over there.
Wow, they didn't know it.
Didn't know it.
I reckon I know that from, was that on a Kmart ad?
Maybe it was.
I reckon it might have been, maybe.
Yeah,
Sounds familiar. Anyway.
it does. And then yeah, I was over in the UK. We went to Reading Festival. Crazy.
Yep.
Having the best time. And then the train going back to London was packed, and like, I mean, you could not. They opened the toilet door.
Yeah.
And there was like 2 dudes in there,
Sick.
just standing, just to try and get room to be on this train. And we're all just squished. And because me and my mate were already telling jokes, being stupid, being silly, this guy goes, sing a song.
Oh,
And I was like, why? And he goes, everyone will sing
come
it."
on, man. Sing it.
And then instantly I'm like, oh man, Mama.
Oh, yes.
Back into a classic.
Of course.
Train went fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Singing, just a Queen hit.
Man, this is the thing about you, is you're such a like I mean, you're a very positive dude and you're a big party dude.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I associate that with, I mean, everyone's seen Drunk Dane. You're
Yeah.
out at the pub, you're hugging people, you're loud, you're
Yeah.
that guy. What about before you started drinking? Were you still that guy?
Still party mood, 100%, and still hug and be and like love life, but yeah, I suppose just not drinking,
Yeah.
and not as social with people who drink
Sure.
because it was a bit weird.
Keep it more to yourself.
Yeah, well, more hanging with people who don't drink,
Oh, okay.
like associate.
Even when you were DJing,
Yeah,
the worlds were separate.
yeah.
That's so
'cause
wild.
Isn't that like, dude? Surely you know, it sucks to hang out with drunk people.
Controversial, don't hate it.
Yeah,
But you know what it
this is controversial.
is that I think because I spent such a long time not only drunk but taking drugs and being a piece of shit and having people look after me and being a liability is the word for it.
Yeah, yeah.
An absolute liability. I have this like forced kind of self-imposed empathy. So when someone's annoying me, I don't like to, I want to go like this fucking cunt.
Yeah.
But something in my brain goes, mate, that's you.
Yeah.
You're this cunt.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
The other side of me, now that I'm thinking about it too, is that I probably didn't drink because my brother did. So he
Older
drank.
brother.
He drank heavy.
right.
A lot back then.
What do you say in the show? 2 years older?
He's 2 years older than
Okay,
me.
so not heaps older.
And he drank as in blackout drunk, peed himself, that type of, and he was 18.
Yeah.
Like he was only young.
Yeah.
But would go to like excess every single time. Not
Yeah.
even like not
Not
yeah.
like sometimes this, sometimes that.
Yeah.
Every single time, like every weekend.
every weekend. So I'm DJing nightclubs, and then I'm getting phone calls when I'm packing up saying, "Can you come pick up your brother?"
Oh man.
Like he's at the front of the bank, just passed out.
The front of the pack.
Yeah,
And
just-
people know him and they know you because it's Wagga and everyone
Yeah.
knows each other.
and it didn't embarrass me. I've never been embarrassed by it. Doesn't
Yeah,
worry me.
okay.
But it was just like, come on, man, like
Yeah.
don't do this to yourself.
Uh-huh.
Um,
How'd that feel? Were you worried about him?
yeah, worried. I was
Yeah.
really worried. In no way did I give a shit because, like, as in about being embarrassed because he
Like other people, what would they think? That kind of thing?
he took care of himself. He's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he was really sort of like that, and then he's just got that obsessive personality.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to rehab.
Yep.
And then gave up the drink.
Wow.
Which
How old was he then?
Oh, he was only young. I reckon like 19, 20.
Man, that's ahead of the curve shit.
Absolutely. Well, then he took up drugs.
Okay, nice. Respect.
Yeah, he figured out the pills and stuff, and then
Okay.
went heavy into pills, and then into meth,
Wow.
and then was like, was obsessed with it.
Yeah, I bet.
Just you still get burpy on these beers.
You do. Yeah.
This is crazy.
Dane's just had a cute little burp there
Yeah.
for anyone who didn't catch that on the mic.
it still gives it's all of the burp,
Yeah.
just
100%.
none of the alcohol.
The seltzers were making me burp way more. These are much smoother. Yeah, man, I was a fucking fountain.
Yeah, and then so Kurt was deep in the game
Uh-huh.
of and he tells some absolutely incredible stories, like insane stories.
Of like doing weird shit on meth, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. They're like next level.
Yeah.
A guy like coming at him with a like a little axe,
Like a little hatchet.
Fuck. And actually cut him
Wow.
across the stomach, like sliced him.
Holy fuck.
And because he stood back, like he just slid back,
Yeah.
he ended up only hitting him with just the tip of it. If he didn't step back, he would
It's
have
probably in the ribs or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over $50.
Wow.
Like it was crazy.
Just because of the situations he would get himself in because he's like around meth people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he dropped $50 on the ground. This guy's like ran off with it,
Oh my God.
and then they're like fighting over it. And then this guy's like, the only way I can get away with this $50 is if I find this little hatchet and stab him with it. But they were friends, like neighbors.
Yeah.
Crazy.
How long is this going on for? And like, how old are you through this?
A couple of years. I can't remember. Maybe 16, 17.
Right. So this is all before you ever started drinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then he went to rehab. And now he doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs.
He's all good.
Yeah, he went to.
Oh man, that's great.
He became a chef, like a fine dining chef, because he's obsessive and he was. But he's still Kurt, still like this badass dude. And I find that really funny because we're like at a restaurant and stuff that he works at, and he'll make us like food. And he's like, "Oh, this is worth $140. This steak and jus and like a little salady fruit thing." And then I'm eating it, and then he comes over and he'll like have a little bit of it, and he was like, "I'll bash any cunt that says that's not mad."
Does he have the hat on?
Yeah, he's got a hat. He's still like in uniform.
The chef hat, but just like, who wants a stabbing?
Yeah, at a fine dining restaurant.
Yeah, that's sick,
It's
man.
so like posh. These people, waiters are around and stuff, and he's just like, fuck. I reckon people have taken their steak back and then turned around and gone, no, it's not that bad actually. It's pretty.
Oh my
Could
God.
I see the chef?
Yeah.
I just wanted to compliment you.
Because I'm scared now.
I'm scared.
Fuck, man. So when you started drinking, you would have had all that in your head on some level?
Yeah.
You had seen him do that and that's your brother and like you're scared? Or was it just like he's doing okay and I'm a different person?
Yeah, I reckon so. I was around those footballers guys.
Yeah, when you're 21.
Trying to
get
have a
back into
beer.
this story.
Trying to drink a beer. Can't handle it. Don't
Yeah.
like it. Spitting it out sort of
Yeah.
thing. Like that after every sip. And then and so the funny bit is that my mate said, just put a little nip of cordial in and you'll be fine. And I'm like, yeah, cool. And I went and bought a round of beers and I came back and I gave 5 beers out and then I had my little pink beer to myself. And then my mate's like, what? Lime cordial, fuckhead.
Yeah, that's right.
not
That's right. Oh, fuck, man. Did they have any shit to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
boys?
Football boys.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
They're gonna pick on the snake skin, whatever it's called. Snake bite.
Snake bite. Yeah. Snake bite.
Uh,
So I
they-
thought you were saying something about being indigenous, and I was like, what? I never heard that one, man.
No. Snake bite, I think, is what they thought I had.
Right.
But I literally
You
just
literally just had red cordial in beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. Did you love it as soon as you did? Like drinking, getting drunk, that feeling?
No, I didn't like it originally because you lose control and I was too old.
Yeah.
But then we went to some like parties, as in like music festivals, and we were having a few drinks at the music festival, and then just dancing, and you're really like lowering your inhibitions, and you're just having fun.
Yeah.
Instead of just being so like in your own head all the time.
Totally.
And then I was really enjoying that, and then it was just really like silly, fun, being
Yeah.
lovable. Never have I ever been aggressive and all that type of shit.
I
So
wouldn't have thought so, man. You're not an aggressive dude.
No.
Yeah.
So I'm in that sweet spot where I can get, and I also have a homing beacon in my brain. So if I do have a few too many,
Yeah.
I wake up in my bed.
Yeah.
There's this little, my brain just goes, I gotta go home.
Man, you know what? I'm like, that's funny because I have never felt like unsafe from being drunk,
Yep.
but I also don't wake up in my bed. My thing is I can feel like anywhere is my bed. Like I'll pass out anywhere and then someone wakes me up and they're like, man, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm sleeping on the sidewalk. I'm tired.
I'm at home.
I'm all good, dude. Look, I'm charging my phone. Like I used to pass out in so many wild places and people would be like, dude, look where you passed out. And it's like, I didn't pass out, man. I went to bed.
I laid here. I got this
I was
ready.
tired and I didn't want to go home. So I I'm sleeping in a bush.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah, man. I would really go to sleep anywhere.
I have gotten drunk, woken up, and I'm like in a panic because I'm like, I'm going to miss a flight. And I'm like, in a Melbourne hotel room, bags packed, clothes are ready.
Damn.
Drunk Dane has come home and just organised.
Just crushed it.
Just knew that I
you don't
needed.
remember any of this.
Don't really. I sort of vaguely remember going, I've got that early flight tomorrow.
That's an interesting measure of how drunk you are. Do you miss flights? Have you missed flights? Have
Never.
you been that? Never.
Nah,
Man,
don't miss flights.
that's such a good litmus test of do you have your shit together? Because I've been missing flights. I missed on the way home from when I first
Why?
moved to Melbourne.
You have
Just
no
being a
excuse.
fuckhead. Oh no, not sober.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. When I was
yeah.
drinking. I mean, also I actually nearly missed a flight the other day because I didn't check in or whatever.
Yeah.
I looked at the ticket wrong. I was actually at the airport like way earlier than I needed to
Yep.
be. Thank fuck. But
And you only have carry-on these days.
yeah, only
Yeah.
carry on, dude. Yeah, I know.
So you're fine.
I just for some reason I don't know. I thought the flight was I don't know. I just panicked for a second. It was in Cairns actually.
Yep.
And then went to run back because I thought I hadn't checked in right, and the security guy was like, "Mate, stop running, stop run!" Like they just don't like you running.
Yeah, right.
It was
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, that
you could see
Cairns,
that I was panicked.
Cairns airport's weird.
Yeah, it is. But
They're so slow.
when I was 21 and I just moved to Melbourne and I went home to Adelaide for Christmas and I was on the phone with this girl that I was in love with, just like, couldn't see to the end of my nose because I was just talking to this girl.
Yep.
Got all the way up to the gate and I'd been out the night before and I was going home for Christmas. Got to the gate and I guess the technology, because now I feel like if you got to the gate, you could just boop, boop, boop on your phone and get the boarding pass and go. But at that time, I got to the gate, they're all going on. I'm on the phone to this girl and go to walk on the plane and they're like, "Where's your boarding pass?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck. I missed the flight." I had to hang up on that girl, call my mum and be like, "You need to book me another flight because
Oh.
I'm 21 and I don't have a cent to my name."
Yep. Wow.
And if you don't, then I'm just not coming home for Christmas.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, man.
That is so full on.
Yeah, I don't know. And but that, like, in my mind, I'm a very organized person, but it's like at some point you have to admit, like, I'm not organized, or at least I'm too drunk to fucking do the stuff because, I'm missing flights.
Yep.
Yeah, good for you, dog.
Oh.
Never miss flights. That's sick.
Dude, I you know what it is? I get to the airport super early, stupidly early. I plan on getting there an hour before my flight.
Yeah.
Every single time. And if I'm late, you're late by 15 minutes. That's
Yeah,
always
yeah,
that's always the thing, and that puts me on time.
Nice.
And then within the realm. But I like how you do it. I like that you only have a carry-on.
Oh, man,
And
it's the best.
That's something that I'm thinking of, like, trying to train me into doing now.
And you know what? With Virgin, you can there's a bit of wiggle room because I've got my carry-on, like my bag, and then I've also got my backpack.
Yep.
And I just put one on top of the other that they wouldn't fit in one bag, but
Yep.
like you wear them together and it kind of looks like, I don't know. I've just never been questioned. I don't know what it looks like. I
Yep.
probably look like a fucking idiot,
That's-
but I've never been questioned. And, it's probably like 10 kilos. You wouldn't get on a Jetstar flight with it.
Yep.
But Virgin,
They're
they're
fine.
like, and I'm gold, I guess.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
There we go.
everything.
It's all coming out now.
Oh, fuck.
I give you a little kiss on each cheek. Welcome back.
Sir. Man, I do want to ask you real quick. I feel like we're coming to the end here, but I wanted to go back and ask you about your parents as well.
Yep.
And like with your brother, how were they with that? And then how were they with you?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to ask about people's families when you're talking about drinking, because my dad was a big drinker, my mum not so much.
Yep.
And that definitely influenced me.
100%. That's exactly it. So mum never drank.
Yeah.
My only memory of my mum drinking was she split like a stubby of beer with my auntie, which is my dad's eldest sister.
Yeah.
Having a party one time, just the two of them.
Right.
They'd had like a big day,
Yeah.
looking after people and stuff, and they decided to have a cheeky little beer between them.
Oh, naughty
And they
girls.
split, yeah, and it was like the smallest of small beers, 225 mils.
Yeah.
And they had 2 liters of lemonade. And they were just having it like as if it was a shot of whiskey or something.
The way you talk about your mum in your show, she sounds like quite a presence. Like
Absolutely.
she's stern, she's the force of law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and pure. Yeah, absolute that. So, and to have that, and the best way I can describe it is when I moved into my new house in Wagga, my mum rang me and was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And she's like, well, get home and organise your house. Make sure that everything's made, your bed, all that. Because once you've done that, then that's your house now. Like that's how you live there. That's And my dad rang me 3 minutes after this and said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I was just about to head home. I'm going to make the bed and stuff." And he goes, "No. Come to the pub. Celebrate that you've moved into your new house."
That's sick. That's the angel and devil on your shoulder.
100, bro. That couldn't be more clearer.
Yeah.
Of them and their influences on me. So
how's she with him? With his, I mean, actually, you fucking nail it in the show that she's giving him daggers as he's handing out beers.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm about to do this on a podcast. Can I give you a punchline?
Oh yes.
Ed, what is it? Edward Beer Hands.
Yeah.
Edward Pilsner Hands.
Edward Pilsner
hands.
hands.
But then Milo said Edward Bitter Hands, and we couldn't decide.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I hate that I've done this on a podcast now because everyone who's listening can hear you be like, "Yeah, cheers, cunt." It's my fucking joke.
I reckon this Venn diagrams don't like overlap too much, so it's fine.
Yeah. No, man, I loved it. It was a great show. And what do you think about the beer, by the way?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
It's not like a super tasty, hoppy IPA kind of thing.
I love it.
It's just your standard beer, hey?
To tell you the truth, would never have like an alcohol-free beer.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or maybe past tense. Because genuinely, I can completely understand how you could give up beers and still have these.
Yeah.
And still feel like I'm
doing it.
I'm in the
part
party.
of the thing. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's about.
I think these would help me not be annoyed at drunk people as well.
Do you get hangovers?
No, that's the crazy bit too.
Right.
So I don't get a hangover, unless like I've done something ridiculous.
You're really going crazy.
Yeah, with some whiskeys, tequilas, and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But normally I'm not firing on all cylinders. But I do take, particularly when I'm in Melbourne for the Melbourne Comedy Festival, I'll take the Hydrodol.
Hydrodols, man. They came out just before I quit, and they were incredible.
Yeah.
Remember that year they had them in the Melbourne at the festival club?
So that's
just
what
like
got
go
me.
and grab as many as you want.
Yeah, that got me hooked.
Yeah.
And they are expensive.
Are they?
Yeah,
fuck, man, they really got you.
They really
they
did.
nailed their market too.
They nailed it, bruv.
Oh my god, comedians.
So and I take a couple of them, and 100%, I'm just not crook the next day. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I might not be. It's probably just a lack of sleep.
You feel a little bit. I remember feeling a bit. It's like you're physically fine, but mentally you're still not 100% there. You feel a bit drained or something.
Yeah.
But you're just not fucked in bed for the whole day.
And like, ugh.
Yeah.
You just, your body's fine.
Because that's a true nightmare. But yeah, man, you're right. Maybe it is just having the alcohol-free beers because, like, no lie, if I'm going to a house party, I'll bring 6 and have 6.
Yeah.
Because it's something about the anxiety and the, like, sip that I just need to have that thing. But it's true. Like, if I was drinking tea at a party and some drunk dude came up to me and was like, "Man, fucking, what do you reckon?" I'd be like, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
Because you're already annoyed that you're not a part of it. Maybe there's something to that.
There is. I'm about this.
Yeah.
I really like this. I think that
The
this
can?
the cans.
The can's cool. It's red. It's got that little Bang Brewing thing. I also rated on that. I think the can is so important because you got to feel like if someone comes up to you and goes, "What are you drinking?"
Yeah.
You got to be like, "This, not this."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't want to be like, "Oh, just this fucking ugh." You know?
Yeah, 100%.
You don't want to be bummed about the thing that you're drinking.
This soft drink can looking beer. Nah.
Yeah, no good. And that's what I was saying to Jordan Barr earlier. If you can't be drinking a Coke at a party either.
No.
There's just something weird about it.
It is weird.
It's not the same.
It's predatory.
It's predator. That's literally what Jordan said. Maybe that can be a running joke. Well, fuck, man. Look, you know what? If you're listening and you've seen someone drinking a soft drink at a party, let me know, man. I want to know a story about that because I can't be doing it. It's weird, hey?
It is weird.
Well, look, I think that's all for us, man. Have you got anything you want to plug?
No, well, I'm doing shows wherever.
Yep.
Jump on my social media.
Yep.
Dane Simpson. I'm hitting my peak on Facebook just as it's becoming shit.
Yes. Oh, like you're doing good on Facebook. It's coming up.
It's going up.
Yes.
It's doing really well.
Oh, man, you're going to do great in the 50 to 65 demographic, I reckon.
That's exactly who comes to my shows. But yeah, find me on social media and check out our show. That'd be cool.
Yeah, dope, man. And check out the special on Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
hear that first you stole my land joke, one of the greats. And if you're still listening to the pod and you're digging it, give us a 5-star on Apple or on Spotify. And I'm aidanjonescomedy.com and across all social medias like that. Thank you very much for coming through, Dane.
You ledge. Thanks for having me, my man.
Absolute pleasure. I've been Aidan.